Jane is watching, says, I have a bad hoof problem. Mule's outer wall is peeling back. I have
Yeah.
him on supplement for hooves and have been leaving him on a dry lot overnight, so no pasture till about 12 noon. 12 noon to 6, so grass is dry. Suggestions, please. Steve, do you want to go to the picture first, or do you want to talk about this and then go
Yeah,
to the
yeah, we can
picture?
go ahead and go to that picture. You see this, folks? You see that great big crack on the top of that? And you see how the rest of the hoof is all deformed? Now I'm gonna try to get some more pictures, but again, I want to reemphasize this, folks. You put these mules out in a pasture or out in a big dry lot, you cannot keep track of their health. You can't do it. And it is imperative, just like this hoof right here. He knew and he's good at taking care of these animals, but things kind of got out of hand. And he kind of got busy and this sort of thing. And next thing you know, he sees his mule tripping. And I think that's the way the story goes. Maybe who he's watching now could say something. But he had an abscess in this mule's foot. And I said, did they pat it? And did they put yokum in it with pine tar and linseed oil? He said, no, they didn't pat it. They just said, let him run. Problem is the bacteria gets built up, folks. And that bacteria goes up through the hoof wall and it goes right at the crack. We call it a gravel is one name. So now we got a mule here and he says, well, I've been riding him. He's been doing okay. No, folks. You understand. Mules brace into pain. You may think they're doing okay. They are not. Okay. It is rare that one will flat show you, hey, I got a problem here, and this mule was tripping. That's why. If you kept this mule in a 20 by 20 stall, just like all of your mules should be, you come to my ranch, and I think he's got a picture of it here. You can see where my corrals go. And matter of fact, all over Arizona, we have everybody keeps their animals in a small corral. By keeping them in a small corral, I can keep track of how much water, how much feed. I can keep track of their hoofs. I can keep track of their breathing and everything. Okay. Now let's go back to this to the colicky and hear this hoof problem. Okay. It's important that you understand about Banamine. It's important you understand about what to look for and what's the heart rate, what's the breathing, and do a temperature test. It's really important. So when your vet comes out, they're already acknowledged as to what's going on. And here's the hoof problem. If this mule would have been in a small 20 by 20 pen, we could have kept track of it. We could have kept it clean. Yes, I know. I know it's hard to do that. I know you folks, just like this gentleman here with this mule. I started helping him 7 years ago. This is his first mule right here. And now he's crippled up. And this is important, folks. Don't put your mules out there in the pasture. They don't need it. They don't need it. Take care of them. Put them in a small pen. Give them a shade. Keep them up out of the mud. The way my corrals are built is they've got about 3 inches or so that they feed in of granite. And they walk up and down there and they feed right there. And that's on 10 foot. And it's roughly about 3 inches high than the rest of it. Then the rest of it, if it gets rainy and muddy and stuff, they'll be just fine. He'll keep it dry. But going back to this, they don't need to be in a pasture, folks. And right here is one of the reasons. And we got a couple more reasons as well. Now, the lady that's got the mule where we're fluffing some of the outside wall, that's a lot of things that could be going on there. Folks, I have yet to see any hoof builder in the way of medicines and additives and things like this. I've never seen one yet that really worked. What I have seen is consistent, good farrier work. That's what worked. Not taking a rasp and rasping the outside. That takes the land away. You keep pine tar and linseed oil around, and you'll be able to paint those on the outside and help with the maintenance on it. And you'll be able to put some on the inside. You see how dry this hoof is? I used to take right at the water holes. Each one of the mules had their own water. They kept about a foot and a half to 2 foot of moisture. I'll keep it wet, especially dry when we're here 110 and more. I'll keep it wet in that area so that they can step in it and keep some moisture going in and out of their foot. Okay. On top of that, I use pine tar and linseed oil again to keep the foot. There's my corrals. Okay, you see get an idea of them there from one end. That's a 10-foot shade, 10 foot they stand in. You can see the feeder there, that plastic feeder,
Yeah, right there. So that was at one of our clinics. And how many total do you have, Steve? Is it like 20?
20 stalls, yeah.
Yeah,